My name is Chief James Gardner. I'm with the Hatboro Police Department. With me today is Officer Andrew Lambreski, the SWAT commander for the Montgomery County East Region SWAT team, and Chief James Donnelly of the Warminster Township Police. He is the SWAT commander for the Central Bucks regional SWAT team. Since about 9:17 last night, we've had a barricaded subject on York Road who was observed to be pointing what appeared to be a firearm at motorists traveling along York Road. Throughout the evening, with our partners from the SWAT teams, we have tried diligently to make contact with the individual. Throughout the night and the morning, the individual has refused to communicate with us. We've tried various methods to get him out. Ultimately, a short time ago, the SWAT team made entry into the apartment and took the subject into custody. He's a 35-year-old male from Hatboro. At this point, he's being transported for a medical evaluation at a local hospital. We should be able to release more information on the name and so forth later. We do anticipate that there will be criminal charges filed. Our officers are now executing a search warrant at the property to look for evidence that may be associated with this incident. I'd like to thank our two SWAT teams for their professionalism and expertise in safely taking this individual into custody and for protecting our community. So.
Can you warn what the charges might be?
Well, right now we're looking at terroristic threats and assault for the incident involving the gun. We're evaluating what we find in the apartment today to see if there'll be any more charges. We do have an arrest warrant for assault and terroristic threats. That stems from the incident with pointing the gun at motorists that happened last night, and as a result of that incident, we have a search warrant for the residence as well. We'll be looking at, depending on what we find in the apartment, could determine if any additional charges will be filed.
Chief, you all said you tried to establish communication with the suspect. How successful are you? What were the nature of any of the communications you had?
I'll see if one of the SWAT commanders may want to address that.
I'm Jim Donnelly, the Chief of Warminster Police, but the Tactical Commander for Central Bucks County Special Response Team. Last name is Donnelly. Negotiations was tried to establish earlier with the Eastern Montgomery County SWAT through their negotiations. He refused trying to call his cell phones. He had two numbers. One was a house phone, one was a cell phone. I turned them both off, or we were unable to get through and not even able to get a message to him. Eastern Montgomery County SWAT began hailing him through the speaker systems of the Bearcats and the hailing systems that we had. When we arrived early this morning, we continued that same process with hailing. We pushed negotiators out to both Bearcats when we brought the Bucks County Bearcat in, and began hailing them for both and trying to negotiate them from there. We began hailing from the doorway at some point and continued to put speakers into him and continue to call his phones to see if he would answer. So that's how the negotiations went. It kept going to voicemail at one point early this morning, and he just wouldn't pick up the phone. So.
Any shots fired? Any injuries?
None on our part, none.
No.
How did it end?
We had to do a tactical intervention, go in, clear the property, and we found him in a back bathroom. And we negotiated him out from the back bathroom, took him into custody, and took him out to get deconned. So. Yeah, the way the apartment's set up, the bathroom's on the interior, so it's closed off to any windows or any skylights or anything like that.
How about firearms, sir? Did you take whatever he was waving around out front, or what did you find him with when you got him?
We found him with nothing, just in the bathroom. So the search warrant will probably produce that, but we don't conduct the search warrant. The Hatboro police investigators will do that.
Did he say anything to you when you guys made contact or went into that bathroom at all?
No, he was in the bathroom when we made contact with him. He had nothing to us.
Was he armed?
Not when we took him into custody, no, sir.
Didn't seem like he was fully clothed when he was removed.
I didn't see him, so I can tell you. So.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I haven't seen him yet. He's being transported to Abington Hospital for an evaluation. Throughout the night, we did deploy tear gas to try to get him out, and that was completely unsuccessful. I don't know if we have information on a mask or not, but yeah.
To be clear, there was tear gas was sent in. He didn't come out. You
Yeah.
guys just went in. He was sitting there.
Yeah, eventually. I mean, we basically exhausted all options with talking and using less lethal devices to try to get him out, and he was completely non-compliant. So the team entered, and they were able to take him into custody.
Without incident. I know you said incident.
Yeah, there was my understanding there was a brief struggle, but nobody's been seriously injured. And there was, some of the things that went on early on with this, there was never any shots fired that we're aware of by police or otherwise. There was some information out there that our schools closed because this individual may have been plotting something against the schools. That's completely false. There's no information to suggest that ever occurred. We contacted our school district early this morning, primarily because of the busing routes. We had some major roads shut down in Hatboro, and as a result of that, I think they decided, to act on an abundance of caution and close the day because of the major routes that were involved with busing. So
he said he was going for eval, and I understand that. Any notion of the suspect's mental state to responding officers' eyes? Was he drunk? Did he seem out of a normal mental state?
Haven't talked to the officers personally. That'll be part of an evaluation that'll take place, I'm sure, at the hospital.
Chief, is someone you dealt with before?
Don't want to comment on that right now.
Did he mention a motive or any reason why he did this?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh, was this an apartment that had other apartments in the building, and was there any?
So it's a two-story building, commercial on the bottom, and an apartment on top. I think there may be one additional apartment to the rear of his, but it's not like an apartment complex. It's where this happened is directly in the middle of our town, so it was quite a disruption. But like I said, we're glad this ended, safely, and I credit our highly trained SWAT teams for their professionalism in getting this thing resolved peacefully today.
How many people saw him outside with waving the gun around last night? What were their, concerns?
Well, we know initially there was one because we responded to the complaint. There was a woman traveling north on York Road. She told us that she observed this individual standing against the building, actually tracking her with what she said was a gun in his hand. And she also indicated to us that there was a car behind her, and she saw this individual do that same thing to that car. We had an officer in relatively close proximity and got there quickly when this broke last night, and that officer did have initial contact with this individual, and he ran back into the apartment. And we actually tried for quite some time before the SWAT team was brought on scene to try to make contact with ourselves, and he would not respond to us at the door. He was completely unresponsive through the night, regardless of what we did. So.
Chief, is he known to you all? I mean, do you all know him as a police force in town?
I personally don't know him. We'll be looking into other contacts, obviously, as part of what we do. I don't want to comment on, his past, if there is a past with him right now. So, yeah. So we actually just put it out on our social media. Shelter in place is lifted. I believe all traffic has been restored as of now. They were in the process of getting York Road open. Our investigators will be at the scene, searching based on a search warrant for the property to see if there's any evidence in there that we're looking for as a result of last night's incident. So if there's any, when it comes to the point, if there's any charging, we'll be glad we'll be able to provide that information to you at that point.
Did your police department usually get out mugshots, or is that county?
No, we can we can do that. He hasn't been formally charged with anything, right?
I'm thinking later
But
this afternoon.
yeah, I don't even know if it's going to happen this afternoon. It depends on what the evaluation is, and our concern right now is make sure, as well as the public, we want to make sure that he's safe and cared for as well. So.
Did it seem like he was injured in any way physically?
I haven't seen him, so I don't have any information on that he was.
And right now he's in the hospital?
He was transported to Abington for evaluation. Yeah. No, I mean, no. I thank our citizens here. This was a major disruption in our community, and we're aware of that. But we acted on, for the safety of everybody involved, and nobody has been, everybody's safe. So that was our goal, and I think we accomplished that. So, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.